If you chance, Camillo, to visit Bohemia on like occasion when my services are now good, you shall see, as I have said, great difference betwixt our Bohemia and your Sicilia.
Well, I think this coming summer the King of Sicilia means to pay Bohemia the visitation which he justly owes him.
Wherein our entertainment shall shame us.
Oh, Sicilia cannot show himself overkind to Bohemia. They were raised together in their childhoods, and there rooted betwixt them then such an affection which cannot choose but branch now.
I believe there is not matter nor malice in the world to alter it. You have an unspeakable comfort of your young Prince Mamillus. It is a youth of greatest promise that ever came into my note.
9 changes of the watery stars and the shepherd's moon since we have left our throne without a burden. Time as long again would be filled up, my bundle, with our thanks. And yet we should, for perpetuity, go hence in debt. And therefore, like a cipher, yet standing in a rich place, we multiply with one we thank you, many thousands more that go before it.
Stay your thanks a while and pay them when you part.
Sir, that's tomorrow. I am questioned by my fears if it may chance or breed upon our absence. That may blow no sneaking winds at home to make us say, this is put forth too truly. Besides, we have stayed to tire your royalty.
We are tougher, brother, than you can put us to it.
No longer stay.
1 7-night longer.
Very sooth, tomorrow.
Part the time between then and then that I'll know be the same.
Press me not, beseech you so.
Tongue-tied, our queen, speak you.
I had thought, sir, to have held my peace until you had drawn oaths from him not to stay. You, sir, charge him too coldly. Tell him you are sure all of Bohemia as well. Dissatisfaction, bygone day proclaim. Say this to him, his feet, his best word.
Well said, Hermione.
You tell him long to see summer strong, but let him say so then and let him go. But let him swear so he shall not stay. Wilt whack him hence with distance. You'll stay.
No, madam.
Nay, but you will.
I may not verily.
Verily, you put me off with liver vows and conspire the stars with oaths should yet say, sir, no going. Verily, you shall not go. A lady's verily is as close as a lord's. Will you go yet, Vorhies, the prisoner? Not like yes. So you shall pay your fees with me tomorrow, save your things. How say you, my prisoner or my guest? By your verily, one of them you shall be.
Your guest, then, madam. To be your prisoner should import offending, which is for me less easy to commit than you to punish.
Your jailer, your kind hostess. Count on questioning of my lordship's years when you were boys. Were you pretty lordings then?
We were, fair queen. 2 lads, and thought there was no more behind us today, tomorrow as today, and to be boy eternal.
Not my lord, but bear your right, the 2.
We were as twin lands, frisk in the sun and believe the one and the other. What we changed was innocence for innocence. We knew not that God would have killed nor dreamed that he did. How we pursued that evil life, and our weak spirits near in higher rears. We should have answered heaven boldly, not guilty the imposition clear, hereditary ours.
By this we have gathered your true sins.
Oh, my most sacred lady, temptations have since then been more to us. For in those unpledged days was my wife but a girl. Your precious self had not yet crossed the eyes of my young pledge.
Grace to boot, of this make no conclusion lest we say your queen and I are devils. Yet go on, the offenses we have made you do will answer. If you first did with us, and that with us you did continue fault, please slip not with any love of us.
Is he won yet?
Don't say, my lord.
Hermione, my dearest, thou never spokest to better purpose.
Never.
Never but once.
What have I said well, kind pretty? Tell me prayers and praise and makes us back teach thee. One good deed dying tongue will slurs 1,000 waiting upon that. Our praises are our wages. But was this for such a purpose? When? They let me have it, I long.
Why, that was when 3 craft months had soured themselves to death. There I can make thee open thy white hand, unclasp thy love, bended thou art yours forever.
Disgrace indeed, why lo you now I have spoke to the purpose twice. One forever under royal husband, the other with some while a friend.
Too hot. Too hot. To mingle friendship far as mingling bloods. A tremor courses on me, my heart dances. Not for joy, not joy. Entertainment may a free face put on. Pride of liberty from bounty, fertile bosom. Happily palms and pinching fingers as now they are. Making practice smiles as in the looking glass. And to sigh as for the mortal a tear. This is entertainment my brow likes not, nor my bosom. Mamillus, thou art my boy.
Aye, my lord.
Come, Captain, we must be neat. Not neat, but cleanly. Steer the heifer and the calf are all culled neat. Still virgiling on his palm. How now, you wanton calf? Art thou my calf? dream, thou mayest co-join with something. Thou dost. I find to the infection of my brains and hardening of my brows.
What means Cecilia?
Something seems unsettled.
How, my lord? What cheer? How is it with you, best brother?
How the brow of much distraction. Are you moved, my lord?
No, in good earnest, how sometimes nature will betray its folly, its tenderness, and make itself a pastime to harder bosoms. Looking upon the lines of my boy's face, me thoughts did recoil to 23 years. I saw myself unbreeched in my green velvet coat, my dagger muzzled lest it should bite its master and prove, as ornament oft does, too dangerous.
Well, if you should seek us, we are yours in the garden. Shall you attend there?
Your own beds dispose you. You'll be found be you under the sky. Angling now, though you perceive me not, how I give line. How she holds up the neb, the bill to him. Arms her with the boldness of a wife to her allowing husband. Each thick knee-deep o'erhead and ears a fort one. Many a man there is, even now as I speak, holds his wife by the arm and does not think she has been sluiced in his absence. He's pond fished by his neighbor, by Sir Smile, his neighbor. Is it for there's none? It's a body planet that will strike where 'tis predominant, and 'tis powerful. Think it will let the enemy in and out with bag and baggage. Be it no barricadio for a belly. How now, boy?
I am like you, they say.
Why, that's some comfort. What, Camillo there?
Aye, my good lord.
Go play, Mamillus, thou art an honest man. Camillo, this great sir will yet stay longer.
You had much ado to make his anchor hold. When you cast out, he still came home.
Didst note it?
He would not stage your petitions, but made his business much more material.
Didst perceive it? They're here with me now, whispering and round King Cecilia's and so forth. How came it, Camillo, that he did stay?
Well, the good entreaties of your most gracious highness.
Entreaties be it, good be pertinent, for thy conceit is soaking. Will not drawing more than common blocks? Not noted is it of the finer natures by some severals of headpiece extraordinary? Lower messes perchance of this business purblind, say.
Business, my lord. I believe that most understand that Bohemia stays here longer.
Ha?
Stays here longer.
But why?
To satisfy your highness and the entreaties of your most gracious queen.
Satisfy? The entreaties of your mistress satisfy? Let that suffice. Camillo, I have trusted thee with all the things near to my heart, wherein priest like thou hast cleansed my bosom. But we have departed from thee, penitent reformed. We have been deceived in thy integrity, deceived by that which seems so.
Oh, be it forbid, my lord.
Are you not seen, Camillo? That's passed out of your eyeglasses thicker than a cuckold's horn. A heard, for vision so apparent, rumor cannot give you a thought. For cogitation resides not in man that does not think my wife is slippery. Thou wilt confess or be impudently negative. Say my wife's a hobby horse, as rank as any black swinch that puts two before a trough fight. Say it and justify it.
No, I would not be a stander-by to hear my sovereign mistress clouded so. True, my heart, you never spoke you what did become you less than this, which were a sin to reiterate, though true.
Is whispering nothing, is leaning cheek to cheek, is meeting noses, is kissing with the inside lip, coursing foot on foot, pushing clocks more swift, hours, minutes, noon, midnight, all eyes blind with the pin and web, all but theirs. Say it be, 'tis true.
No, no, my lord.
It is. Thou liest, Camillo, and I hate thee. Pronounce thee a gross lout, a mindless slave, or else a hovering temporizer, that canst at once see good and evil and inclinest toward them both. Were my wife's liver infected as her life, she would not live the running of one glass.
But who does infect her?
Why, he that wears her as a medal hanging about his neck. Bohemia. If I had servants true about me, mightst bespice a cup. If mine enemy a lasting wink which dropped to me were cordial.
My lord, I could do this, and with no rash potion or the lingering dread that should not work maliciously like poison. But I cannot believe this crack to be in my sovereign mistress. Being honorable, I have loved thee.
Take that by question and go rot. Dost think I am so muddy, so unsettled to appoint myself in this vexation? Sully the purity and the whiteness of my sheets? To deny sleep? Perceive as goads, thorns, nettles, and tails of wasps? scandals of the blood of the prince, my son. My do-think is mine, and love is mine. I do this? Could man so blench?
I must believe you, sir. I do, and will fetch off Bohemia for it. Provided that when he is removed, you'll take again your life as was at first, even if for your son's sake, and thereby foresealing the injury of tongues and courts and kingdoms known and allied to yours.
Dost advise me, even though my plans have I set. I'll give no blemish to your honor, none.
Good Lord, now go then, and with the countenance as clear as friendship wears in peace. Be with Bohemia and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If for me he have wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. Do it, and thou hast the half of my heart. Do it not, and thou splittest thine own.
I'll do it, my lord.
I will seem friendly as thou hast advised.
Oh, miserable lady. But for me, what case I stand in? I am to be the poisoner of good Polizenes. And my ground to do it is the obedience to a master. One in whom rebellion with himself will have all that are his, so too. To do this deed, promotion follows, and if I could find example of thousands that had flourished after they'd struck anointed kings, I'll not do it. But since nor brass, nor stone, nor parchment bears not one, let villainy itself forswear it. I must forsake the court. To do it or no is certain to me a breakneck. Oh, happy star, reign now. Here comes Bohemia.
This is strange. Methinks my favor here begins to warp. Not speak. Good day, Camillo.
Hail, most royal sir.
What is the news in the court?
None rare, my lord.
The king hath on him such a countenance as he hath lost some region and a province, loved as he loves himself. Even now, I met him with customary compliment, when he, wafting his eyes to the contrary, and full in the depth, speeds for me, and so least me consider what is greeting that changes thus his manners.
Well, I dare not know, my lord.
Dare not? Do not? Do you know and dare not? Be intelligent to me, 'tis thereabouts. For what you do know, you must and cannot say you dare not. Good Camillo, your changed complexions are to me a mirror which does be mine changed too. For I must be a party in this alteration, finding myself thus altered with it.
My lord, there is a sickness which puts some of us in distemper, but it is caught of you the other well.
How caught of me?
Oh, I may not answer.
I must be answered. Dost thou hear, Camillo? I conjure thee by all parts of man which honor does acknowledge, whereof the least of which is not this suit of mine. What infinity of harm thou dost declare is creeping toward me? How far off? How near? Which way to be prevented, if to be? If not, how best to bear it?
My lord, I will tell you, but since I am charged in honor by him whom I think honorable, my counsel must be, follow as swiftly as I mean to utter it, or both yourself and I cry lost, and so good night.
On, good Camillo.
I am appointed by him to murder you.
By whom?
By the king.
For what?
He thinks, oh nay, with all confidence he swears, that whether he had seen it or been an instrument to vice you to it, that you had touched his queen forbiddenly.
Oh, then my best blood turned to an infected jelly, and my name be yoked with his that did betray the best.
Swear his by each particular star in heaven, and by all their influences, you may as well forbid the sea to obey the moon.
How should this
Oh,
grow?
I dare not know, but I know 'tis safer to avoid what's grown than to ask how 'tis born. If you dare more trust mine honesty, we must bear away on tonight. To your followers, I'll whisper to the business of my twos and threes, and several posters will clear them of the city. For myself, I'll put my fortunes to your services, which are here by this discovery lost. By the honor of my parents, I can utter truth, which if you dare to prove, I dare not stand by, nor would you be safer than one condemned by the king's own mouth.
I do believe thee. I saw his heart in his face. Give me thine hand, he pilots me, and thy place shall still never mine. My ships are ready, my people did expect my hence departure 2 days ago. This jealousy is for a precious creature, and as she's rare, must it be great. And as his person's mighty, must it be violent. And as he does conceive, he's betrayed by one who ever professed to him. In that must revenge be made more bitter. Fear o'ershades me. Good expedition be my friend, and comfort the gracious queen. Heart of esteem, but none of his ill-taken suspicion. I'll respect thee as a father if thou bearest my life off. Hence let us avoid.
Oh, it is in mine authority to command the keys of all the posterns. Please your highness to take the urgent hour. Come, sir, away.
to you. He troubles me so 'tis past enduring. Come, my gracious lord. Shall I be thy playfellow?
No, I'll none of you.
Why, my sweet lord?
You'll kiss me hard and speak to me as if I were a baby still. I love you better.
And why so, my lord?
Not for because your brows are blacker. Yet, black brows, they say, do become some women's better, so that there not be too much hair there, but in a half circle.
Who taught this?
I learned it out of women's faces. Pray now, what color are your eyebrows?
Blue, my lord.
Nay, that's a mock. I've seen a lady's nose. That has been blue, but not her eyebrows.
Hark ye, the queen your mother rounds apace. We shall present our services to a fine new prince one of these days, and then you would wanton with us, if we should have you.
She has spread it light into a goodly bulk. Good time encounter her.
What wisdom stirs amongst you? Come, sir, I'm for you again. Pray sit by us and tell us a tale.
Merry or sad shall it be?
As merry as you will.
A sad tale's best for winter. I have one of sprites and goblins.
Well, let's have that, good sir, and do your best to fright me with your sprite.
Well, there was a man.
Nay, come sit down. Then on.
Dwelt by a churchyard. I'll tell it softly. Yon cricket shall not hear it.
Give it to me in mine ear.
Has he met there, his train, Camillo with him?
Upon the tufts of pines I met him there.
Never by Solomon's great so on their way. I eyed them even to their ship.
How blessed I am in my just censure. In my true opinion, I lack for lesser knowledge. How accursed in being so blessed. There may be in the cup a spider steeped, and one may drink, partake no venom, for his knowledge is not infected. One present the abhorrent ingredient to his eye. He cracks his gorge and splits his side with violent hefts. I have drunk and seen the spider. Camillo was his help in this, his pander. And I remain a very trick for them to play at will. How came the postern so easily opened?
By his great authority, which often has no less prevailed than as on your own.
I know it too well. Give me the boy. I'm glad you did not nurse him. Though he does bear some signs of me, you have too much blood in him.
What is this, sport?
Bear the boy hence. He shall not come about her. Let her sport herself, for that she's big with. For 'tis Polizenes that has made her swell thus.
But I'll say he had not, and I'll be sworn you would believe my saying, however you learnt in the nay word.
You, my lords, look upon her. Mark her well. Be but about to say she's a goodly lady, and the justice of your hearts will thereto add to the pity she's not honest, honorable. When you have said she's honest, come between her, you can say she's goodly. But be it known from him who has most cause to grieve, she's an adulteress.
Should a villain say so, the most replenished villain in all the world, you, my lord, do mistake.
You have mistook, my lady, Polizenes for Leontes. Thou thing, which I'll not call a creature of thy place, lest barbarism making me the precedent, should alike degrees and mannerly distinguishments betwixt the prince and the beggar. I've said she's an adulteress, and I've said with whom. More, she's a traitor, and Camillo's a February with her, one that knows what she should shame to know herself, her most vile principle, that she's a bed swerver, as bad as those that vulgars give boldest titles. I privy to this their late escape.
No, by my life, privy to none of this. How will this grieve you when you come to the clear knowledge that you have thus published me? Gentle my lord, you scarce can write me thoroughly than to say you did mistake.
If I mistake these foundations which I build upon, the center is not big enough to bear a schoolboy's top. Away with her to prison! He that speaks for her is a far-off guilty, but that he speaks!
There's some ill-planned brains. Must be patient till the heavens look with an aspect more favorable. Good my lords, I am not prone to weeping, the want of which veins you perchance shall dry these pities. But I have that honorable grief lodged here, which burns worse than tears drowned. Beseech you all, my lords, with thoughts so qualified, as your cherry shall best instruct you measure me, and so the king's will be performed.
Shall I be heard?
Who is it that goes with me? Beseech your highness, my women must be with mistress has deserved prison, and abound in tears as I come out. This action I go on now is for my better grace. Adieu, my lord. I never wished to see you sorry, but now I trust I shall.
Go! Do our bidding, hence!
Beseech your highness, call back the queen again.
Be certain what you do, sir, lest your justice prove violence in which 3 brave ones suffer. Yourself, your queen, your son.
For her, my lord, I dare lay down my life, and would do it, sir. So please you see, the queen is spotless. I, the eyes of heaven, and unto you. I mean in this, which you accuse her of.
Be she honor flawed, I'll keep my stables where I've lodged my wife. I'll go in couples with her, and when I feel and see no further trust her, every inch of woman in the world, aye, every dram of woman's flesh is false if she be.
Hold your pieces.
Good, my lord.
You were abused, and by some put her on and be damned for it. But I knew the villain, I would lay and damn him. If this prove true, I have 3 daughters. The eldest 11, the second and third 9 and some 5. By my honor, they'll pay for it. I'll gild them all. 14 they shall not see the great lost generation. They are co-heirs, and I'd rather glid myself than they produce fair issues.
Cease. You smell this business with a sense as cold as a dead man's nose, but I do see it and feel it as you feel thus. See with all the instruments that feel.
If this be so, sir, we need no brave. It's very honest. There is not a grain of it to sweeten the face of the whole donkey earth.
What? Black-eyed credit?
I had rather you lack credit than I, my lord. Upon this ground, it would content me to see your honor truer than your suspicion, be what it might.
Why, what need we commune with you of this, but rather follow our own forceful instigation? Our prerogative calls not for your counsels. Which of you, stupefied or seeming so in skill, cannot or will not relish a truth like this? Inform yourselves, we need no more of your advice. The matter, the loss, the gain, the ordering on it is all properly ours.
And I wish, my lord, you had, in your silent judgment, tried it without much overture.
How could that be? Either thou art most ignorant by age, or thou wert born a fool. Camillo's flight only added to their familiarity, which was as gross as ever touched conjecture. Yet, for greater confirmation, I have dispatched in post to sacred Delphos, Apollo's temple, Cleomenes and Dion, whom you know of stuff sufficiency. There, from the oracle, they will bring all whose counsel shall stop or spur me. Have I done well?
Well done, my lord.
So I am satisfied in what I know and need no more than that. The oracle will give rest to the minds of others such as he, whose ignorant credulity will not come up to the truth. Come, follow me. We have to speak in public, for this business shall raise all.
To laughter that tasted the good fruit for no.
Knowledge who I am. Oh, lady, what court and what is too good for this? Dost thou then in prison? Now, good sir, you know me, do you not?
For a word, lady, and one whom much I honor.
I pray you then, conduct me to the queen.
I may not, madam. To the contrary, I have expressly commanded.
Oh, here's a duty. To lock up honesty and honor from the access of gentle visitors. Is it lawful, pray you, to see her women? Any of
I pray now, call her. Withdraw yourself.
Madam, I must be present at your comfort.
Be it so, prithee. There's such duty makes no stains, stains past coloring. Dear gentlemen, how fares our gracious lady?
As well as one so great and so forlorn may hold together. On her frights and griefs, which never a tender lady hath borne greater, she is something before the time delivered.
A boy.
A daughter and a goodly babe, and lusty and like to live. The queen receives much comfort in it, says, my poor prisoner, I'm innocent as you.
Dare be sworn these dangerous, unsafe wounds, the king will shrew them. Must be told on. We shall. The office becomes woman best. I take it upon me. If I proved honey mouth, let my tongue blister, I'd never to my red lips anger be the trumpet anymore. I commend my best obedience to the queen. If she dares trust me with her love, I will show it to the king and undertake to be her advocate to the loudest. I do not know how I may soften her the side of a child. Silence often, pure innocence persuades or speaks and fails.
Most worthy madam, your honor and your goodness is so evident that this free undertaking do not miss a thriving issue. There is no lady living so meet for this great errand. Please your ladyship to visit the next room. I'll presently acquaint the queen of your most noble offer. Yea, hammered had a design, but durst not tempt a minister of honor, lest she should be denied.
Tell her, Emilia, I'll use the tongue I have. If wit flowed from it as bold as from my bosom, let it not be doubted. I shall do good.
God be blessed for it. All to the queen. Please you, come something nearer.
Madam, if it please the queen, citizen, I know not what I shall occur, having no warrant.
You need not fear, sir. This child was prisoner to the woman is by law in the process of great nature hence freed and enfranchised. Not a party to the anger of the king, nor guilty of, if there be any, the trespasses of the queen. I do believe it. Do not you fear, sir. Upon my honor, I will stand betwixt you in danger.
Nor night, nor day, no rest. Weakness, mere weakness to bear the matter thus. The cause were not being part of the cause. She, the adulteress, for the harlot king is quite beyond mine arm, out of the blanket level of my brain. She is not. To see her given to the fire, a moiety of my rest might come to me again. Who's there?
My lord,
How does the boy?
He took a rest tonight. His hope his sickness is discharged.
To see his nobleness conceiving the dishonor of his mother thus. He straight drew, took it deeply, downright languished. Go, leave me solely, see how he fares.
You may not enter.
Nay, rather, good my lord, be second to me. Fear you his tyrannous passions more last than the queen's life?
Gracious innocent soul, more free than he is jealous.
That's enough. Madam, he has not slept tonight, commanded that none should come at him.
Not so hot, good sir. I do come to bring him sleep. 'Tis such as you that do creep like shadows by him and do sigh each of his needless hearings. 'Tis such as you that nourish the cause of his awakenings. I do come with words as medicinal as true. Honest as either to purge him of that humor that presses him from sleep.
What noise there, ho?
No noise, my lord, but needful conference about some gossip for your highness.
How? Away with thou audacious lady! Antigonus, I charge thee that she should not come about me. I knew she would.
I told her so, my lord. On your displeasure's peril, and on mine she should not visit you.
What? Canst not rule her?
From all dishonesty he can.
unless in this take the course you have done, commit me for committing honor. Trust it, he shall not rule me.
Lie you not here. When she'll take the ring, I'll let her run. But she'll not stumble.
Good, my liege, I come, and I beseech you hear me, who profess myself your loyal servant, your physician, your most obedient counselor. Yet that dares thus appear so uncomforting your evils and is most seek yours. I say I come from your good queen.
Good queen.
Good queen, my lord, good queen. I say good queen, and would by combat make her good, so were I a man, worse than thou you.
Force her hence.
Let him that makes but trifles of his eyes first hand me. My own accord I'll off. First I'll do my errand. The good queen, for she is good, hath brought me forth a daughter. Here 'tis, commends it to your blessing.
Mankind witch, a most intelligencing bard.
I am not so. I am as ignorant as you, and so entitling me, and no less honest than you are mad, which is enough all words this world goes to pass for honest.
Once more, force them hence.
Forever unvenerable be thy hands, if thou takest up the princess by this forced baseness he has put upon it. It's your babe, my lord, 'tis yours. Behold, my lord, although the print be little, the whole matter a copy of the father's. Eyes, nose, lip, the trick of his frown, naked smiles, the dimples of his chin and cheek, the right mold and frame of the hand, nail, finger. And thou good goddess nature, which made so like him that got it. If thou hast the ordering of the mind too, mongst all the colors, no yellow in it, lest she suspect as he does her children not be her husband's.
A gross hag, and Losel, thou art worthy to be hanged and wilt stay her tongue.
Hang all husbands that cannot do that feat. You'll leave yourself hardly one subject.
The most unworthy and unnatural lord can do no more.
I'll have thee burned.
I care not. It is a heretic that makes the fire, not she which burns in it. I will not call you a tyrant, but this most cruel usage of your queen, not able to produce more accusation than your own weak-hinged fancy, something same as a tyranny, and will ignoble make you, yea, scandalous to the world.
Were I a tyrant, where were her like? She does not call me so if she didn't know me one.
What need these hands? To your babe, my lord, 'tis yours, so much like you, 'tis the worst. Jove sent her a better guiding spirit. You, that are thus so tender over his follies, will never do him good, not one of you. So, farewell, we are gone.
Thou, traitor, thou hast set thy wife on this. Child, away with it, and see it instantly consumed with fire. And within the hour bring me word that 'tis done, and by good testimony, or else I'll seize thy life with what else thou callest thine. Thou wilt refuse and encounter my wrath. Say so. These bastard brains with mine own worthy hands shall I cast out.
Good sir, these lords, my noble fellows, can clear me in it.
We can, my liege, he is not guilty of our coming hither.
You're liars all.
Beseech your highness, give us better credit. We have always truly served you, and beseech so to esteem of us. On our knees we beg, as recompense of our services, past and yet to come, that you do change this purpose, which being so horrible, so bloody, must lead on some foul issue. We all kneel.
You, sir, come hither. You that has a heart so tender o'er it. This bastard, for 'tis a bastard, sure as this beard's gray. To what will you adventure to save this bastard's life?
Anything, my lord, that ability may undergo or nobleness impose. At least thus much, upon what little blood I have left to save the poor innocent thing. Anything possible.
Shall be possible. Swear by this sword thou wilt perform my bidding.
I will, my lord.
Mark ye and perform it. For the fail of any point shall not only be death to you, but to your lewd-tongued wife, who from this time we pardon. On your allegiance, I charge thee that you take this female bastard hence, that thou bear it to some remote and desert place quite out of our dominions, that there you shall leave it, where chance shall nurse or end it.
This I'll do, my lord, though a present death hath been more merciful. Come, poor babe. Some powerful spirit instructs the kites and ravens to be thy nurse. Wolves and bears, they say, casting their savages aside, has done a life office of pity. Sir, be prosperous in more than this does require. Poor babe, condemned to law.
No, I'll not rear another's issue.
Cleomenes and Dion, being well arrived from Delphus, are both landed and hasting to the court.
So please you, sir, their speed hath been beyond a calm.
23 days they have been absent. 'Tis good speed, for tells the great Apollo soon will have the truth of this appear. You, my lord, summon a session that we may arraign our most disloyal lady in public. For so hath she been publicly accused, so shall she have a just and open trial. Leave me and think upon my bidding. Sessions, to our great grief we pronounce, even pushes against our heart. The party tried, the daughter of a king and one of us too much beloved. Let us be clear to being tyrannous, since we so openly proceed in justice, even to the guilt or the purgation. Produce the prisoner.
It is His Highness's pleasure that the Queen appear in person here in court. Silence!
Read the indictment.
Hermione, queen to the worthy Leontes, king of Sicilia, thou art here arraigned and accused of high treason in committing adultery with Polizenes, king of Bohemia, and conspiring with Camillo to take away the life of our sovereign lord the king, thy royal husband. The pretense wherein being by circumstances partly laid open, thou, Hermione, contrary to the faith and allegiance of a true subject, dost counsel and aid them for their better safety to fly away by night.
Since what I am to say must be but that which contradicts my accusation and the testimony on my part no other but what comes from myself, it shall scarce boot me to say, not guilty. Mine integrity, being counted falsehood, shall as I express it be so received. But thus, if powers divine behold our human actions as they do, I doubt not then innocent shall make false accusation blush, in tyranny tremble at patience. You, my lord, best know, My past life hath been as continent, as chaste, as true, as I am now unhappy, which is more than history can pattern, though devised of plague takes spectators. For behold me, a fellow of the royal bed, which owe a moiety of the throne, the mother to a hopeful prince, the daughter to a great king, here standing to pray and talk for life and honor for who pleased to come and hear.
I ne'er heard yet that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gainsay what they did than to perform it first.
That's true enough, but 'tis the same, sir, not due to me.
You will not own it.
More than mischief of which comes to me, name of I must not at all acknowledge. For Polizenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess that I loved him. As in honor as he required, with a love such as might become a lady like myself, a love such, so and no others, yourself commanded, whose love had spoken freely from an infant that it was yours. Now for conspiracy, I know not how it tastes, but be dished for me to try how. All I know is that Camillo is an honest man, and why he left your court, the God wotting no more than I are ignorant.
You knew of his departure, as you know what you have undertaken to do in his absence.
Sir, you speak a language that I understand not. My life stands on the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polizenes, and I but dreamed it. You were past all truth, so past all shame, those of your factors so. For thy brat hath been cast out, like to itself no father owning it, which is indeed more criminal in thee than in it. So thou shalt feel our justice, in whose easiest passage looks for no less than death.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would threaten me with I seek. To me can life be no commodity. The crown and comfort of your throne, my life I do give lost, for I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy, the first fruits of my body, from his presence I am barred from like one infectious. My third comfort, starved most unluckily, is from my breast, the most innocent milk and its most innocent mouth, hailed out to murder, myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet, the childbed privilege denied, which longs from it of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here to this place before I have not got the strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here that I should fear to die. Therefore proceed. Yet hear this, mistake me not. No life I prize it not as straw, but for mine honor, which I would free if I were condemned upon surmises. I tell you, 'tis rigor and not law. Your honor's all I do. Refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
The request is altogether just. Therefore, in Apollo's name, bring forth his oracle.
The Emperor of Russia is my father. If he were here beholding his daughter's trial, he did behold me here. He did but see the flatness of my misery, yet with eyes of pity and not revenge.
You here shall swear upon this sword of justice that you, Cleomenes, and Dion have been both at Delphus, and from thence have brought forth this seal of oracle by the hand delivered of great Apollo's priest, and that since then you have not dared to break open the holy seals nor read the secrets in it.
Oh, this we swear.
Break up the seals and read.
Hermione is chaste, Polizenes blameless, Camillo a true subject, Leontes a jealous tyrant, his innocent babe truly begotten, and the king shall live without an heir if that which is lost be not found.
Blessed be the great Apollo, praised.
Hast thou read truth?
Ah, my lord, even so as it is here set down.
There is no truth at all in the oracle. These sessions shall proceed. This is mere falsehood.
My lord, the king.
What is the business?
Oh, sir, shall I be hated to report it? The prince, your son, with mere conceit and fear of the queen's feet, is gone.
How? Gone?
He's dead.
I was angry, and the heavens themselves do strike it by injustice. How now there?
The news is brought unto the queen. Look down and see what death is doing.
Heart is but o'ercharged. She will recover. Prithee, apply to her some remedies for life. Apollo, pardon my great profaneness against thine oracle. Woo, my queen, recall the good Camillo, whom I proclaim a man of truth, of mercy. Being transported in my jealousies, I chose Camillo to minister the poison on my friend Polizenes. Which had been done, but the good mind of Camillo tardied my swift command. Not doing it indeed done. Being most humane and filled with honor, he listens through my rust. how his piety doth make my deeds the blacker.
Oh, cut my limbs with my heart cracking and it break too.
What fit is this, good lady?
What studied torments tyrant has for me? What wheels, racks, fires, what flames, boiling blood, oil butts I receive, whose every word deserves to taste thy most worth. Thy tyranny working together with thy jealousies. Fancies too weak for boys, too greedy and idle for girls, and I don't think what they have done. And run mad indeed, stark mad. For all my bygone boys were but spices of it. But the last, O Lord, when I am sad, cry woe. The Queen, the sweetest, dearest creature is dead, and vengeance for it not dropped down yet.
The heavens forbid.
I think it so. And were no would thou not go and see? If you could bring tincture or luster to her lip, her eye, he outwardly oppressed, then I'd serve you as I would do the gods. But oh no, tyrant, do not repent these things, for the heavy that all thy woes can stir. Therefore take thee to nothing but despair. 1,000 knees, 10,000 years together, naked, fasting upon a bare mountain, and still winter and storm perpetual could not move the gods to look the way thou wert.
Go on. Thou canst not talk too much. Served all tongues to talk their bitterest.
Say no more. However the business goes, you may hope in the boldness of your speech.
But gone, what's past help should be past grief.
Pray thee, bring me the dead bodies of my queen and son. One grave shall be for both. To their grave the causes of their deaths shall appear, to our shame perpetual. Once a day I'll visit the chapel where they lie. The tears shed there shall be my recreation. So long as nature will bear up this exercise, so long I daily vow to come and lead me to these sorrows.
ship has touched upon the deserts of Bohemia?
Aye, my lord, and fear. We have landed in ill time. The skies look grimly and threaten present blusters. In my conscience, the heavens with that we have in hand are angry and frown upon us.
Their sacred will be done. Yo, look to thy bark. I'll not be long before I call upon thee.
Make your best haste, and go not too far in the land. 'Tis like to be loud weather. Besides, this place is famous for the creatures of prey that keep upon it.
Go, I'll not be long before I call upon thee.
I'm glad at heart to be so rid of them.
Come, poor babe. I have heard but not believed the spirits of the dead may walk again. If such things be, thy mother appeared to me last night, for ne'er was a dream so like the waking. To me comes a creature,
sleep out the rest. For there is nothing in between but getting wenches with child, wronging the ancient tree stealing, fighting. Hark you now, would it be but these oil grain of 19 and 2 and 20 hunt this weather? We have scared away 2 of my best sheep, which I fear the wolf will sooner find in the mash, and if we do have them, 'tis by the seaside browsing of ivy. Good luck, and it be thy will. What have we here? Ooh, a bird. A very pretty bird. Ooh, a boy or a child, I wonder. Or some scape. I am not bookish, and I can read gentlewomen in the scape. This has been some stair work. Some trunk work, some behind the door work. There were woman that got this to this poor thing here. Oh, I'll take it up on pity till my son come. He hallowed but even now. Whoa, What art so near? Thou see a thing to talk of when thou art dead and rotten. Come hither. What else, thou man?
I have seen 2 such sights, one by sea and to my land. I'm not to say it is the sea, but it's now the sky. But you cannot first of all keep point.
Why, boy, how is it?
I wish you could see how it shakes, how it rages, how it takes up the shore. That is not to the point. Oh, the most piteous cry of the poor souls. Sometimes to see them, sometimes not to see them. To see the ship boring the moon on her mainmast, and anon swallowed off, yes, and broad. And then for the land service, to see how the bear tore out his shoulder bone. How he cried to me for help and said his name wasn't taken as a nobleman. And to make end of the ship, to see how the sea flap dragging it but burst. How the poor souls roared, and how the sea mocked them, and how the poor gentleman roared, how the bear mocked him, both roaring louder than the sea or the weather.
Name of mercy, when was this boy?
Now I've left witnesses, I've seen these sights. The men are not yet cold in the water, and the bear not half dined, and the gentleman, he's at it right now.
Would I have been by to have helped the old man?
I would you have been by ship's side, but there your charity would have lacked some footing.
Heavy matters, heavy matters. Look thee here, boy, thou metst with things dying, but I with things newborn. Take up, boy.
How could you? How could you?
It was told to me I should be rich by the fairies. This is some changeling, boy. Open it, what's within?
You're a maid, old man, of the sister to youth, have forgiven you your will to live gold. Oh, gold!
Oh, it's fairy gold, boy. And we'll brew so often to keep it close. We are lucky, boy, to keep so requires nothing but secrecy. Let my sheep go. Come, the next way home.
You go the next way with your findings. No seem to be any of the gentlemen left, and the bears never curse when they are hungry. If there be any of him left, I will bury it.
Well, that's a good deed, and if thou mayst discern by that which is left of him, fetch me to the side of him.
Marry will I, you can help me put him in the ground.
'Tis a lucky day, boy, and we'll do good deeds on it.
Impute it not a crime to me or my swift passage, that I slide o'er 16 years and leave the growth untried of that wide gap, since it is in my power to overthrow law, and in one so for an hour to plant and o'erwhelm custom.
Let me pass, the same I am, or ancient's daughter was. For what is now received, I witness to the times that brought them in. So shall I do. To the freshest things now reigning, and make stale the blistering others present, as my tale now seems to it.
Your patience disallowing, I turn my glass, and give the scene such growing as you had slept between.
Leontes leaving, the effects of his fond jealousy so grieving, that he shuts up himself. Imagine me, gentle spectators, that I now may be in fair Bohemia.
And remember well, I mentioned a son of the king's, Florizel, which I now name to you. and with speed so paced to speak of Perdita, now grown in grace and equal with wondering.
What of her ensues? I list not prophecy, but let time's news be known which has brought forth.
A shepherd's daughter, and what to her adheres which follows after is the argument of time.
Of this aloud, if ever you have spent time worse ere now, if never, yet that time himself doth say, he wishes earnestly you never may.
Be no more importunate. 'Tis a sickness denying thee anything, a death to grant this.
But it is 15 years since I last saw my country, and although I have for the most part been ere abroad, I desire to lay my bones there. Besides, the penitent king my master hath sent for me, to whom's feelings I may be some lay, or I overween the thing so which is another spur to my departure.
As thou lovest me, Camillo, wipe not out the rest of thy services by leaving me now. The need I have of thee, thine own goodness hath made. Better not to have had thee than thus to want thee. Thou having made me services, none without thee can sufficiently manage. Must either stay to execute them thyself, or take away with thee the very services thou hast done, which, if I have not enough considered, has too much I cannot. To be more thankful to thee shall be my study, and my profit therein the heaping friendships. Of that fatal country, Sicilia, prithee make no more mention, whose very naming punishes me, the remembrance of that penitent as thou callest him, and reconciled king, whose loss of his queen and children are fresh lamented. Say to me, when sawest thou the Prince Florizel, my son? Kings are no less unhappy their issue not being gracious than they are in losing them when they have approved their virtue.
Well, it is 3 days since I last saw the prince. What his happier affairs may be are to me unknown, but I have missingly noted that he is much late retired from court, and is less frequent to his princely exercises than he formerly hath appeared.
I have considered so much, Camillo, and so far as I have eyes under my service whom look upon his removeness, from whom I have this intelligence, that he is seldom from the house of a most homely man, a shepherd, they say, that from beyond the imagination of his neighbors, he's grown into an unspeakable estate.
Oh, well, I have heard, sir, of such a man, who hath a daughter of most rare note.
That's likewise part of my intelligence, but I fear the angle that plucks our son thither. Thou shalt accompany us to this place, where we, not appearing as we are, shall have some question with this man, from whose simplicity I think it not uneasy to gain a reply as to my son's resort thither. Prithee, be my partner in this present business, and lay aside thoughts of Sicilia.
Oh, I willingly obey your command.
My best, Camillo, we must disguise ourselves.
When daffodils begin to appear, with hay the doxy o'er the dale, why then comes in the sweet of the year, the red blood rains in, the winter's pale, the white sheet bleaching on the hedge, they'll set my plugging tooth and edge, for a quart of ale is a dish for a king. The lark, that cheerily chants with hay, the thrush and the jay are sweet summer songs for me and my aunts as we lie tumbling in the hay. I have served Prince Florizel, and in my time I wore 3-pot, but now I'm out of service. The pale moon shines by night, and when I wander here and there, I then most go right. If tinkerers may have leave to live and bear the Southskin voger, then my account I well may give, and in the stocks of vouchers. My traffic is sheets. Look to Lesserland. My father named me Autolycus, who, being as I am littered under Mercury, was also a snapper-upper of unconsidered trifles. With dye and drab I purchased this comparison, when my revenue is the silly cheat. Gallows and knock are too powerful on the highway. Beating and hanging are terrors to me. For the life to come, well, I sleep out the thought of it. Ooh, a prize.
Let me see, every 11 weather rods, every Todd yields pound and odd shilling, 1,500 shorn. What comes the wool to?
Spring hold the tops of mine.
I cannot do without copters. Let me see, what do I need for the sheep shearing feast? 5 pounds of sugar, 3 pounds of currants, rice, there's one Puritan amongst them, and he sings songs to hornpipes. Saffron to color the warden pies, mate states. None, that's out of my note. A sprig or two and nutmeg, that I might beg, and as many raisins in the sun.
That ever I was born. Oh, help me, help me. Oh, blood, put off these rags, and then death. Oh, death.
Sir, thou hast more rags to lay on thee than these taken off.
Oh, sir, the loathsomeness of them offend me more than the stripes I have received, which are mighty ones and millions.
Sir, a million of a beating, they come to a great matter.
Oh, I am robbed, sir, and beaten. Oh, my money and apparel taken from me, and these detestable things put upon me.
What, by a horseman or a footman?
Oh, a footman, sweet sir, a footman.
Indeed, a footman, looking at the garments he has left with thee. That be a horseman, he hath seen very hot service. But I'll help thee up. Come, lend me thy hand. Come, lend me thy hand.
Softly, good sir. Oh, tenderly. Oh, good sir. Oh, I fear my shoulder blade is out.
How's thou canst stand?
Softly, good sir. Look tenderly. Good sir. Oh, you have done me a charitable office.
Dost thou lack any money? I have a little money.
Oh, no, sir. I have my kinsman, yes, not past 3/4 of a mile, and hence I was going. I shall there have money or anything else I need. Offer me no money, I prithee, it kills my heart.
What was the manner of the man that robbed thee?
Oh, fellow sir, that I have known to go about with troll tales. I knew him once a servant of the prince. I cannot tell you for which of his virtues it was, but he was certainly whipped out.
Oh, vices, I may say. There's no virtue whipped out of the court. They praise might stay there, but it no more but to buy it.
Vices, I should say. This man hath since been an eighth-bearer, a process server, a bailiff, then a compassion motion of a prodigal son, and then married a tinkerer's wife, within a mile where my land and living lies, and having flown over many knavish professions, he settled only in Rome. Some call him Autolycus.
Prig for my life! Prig! He hunts wakes, fairs, and bear baitings!
Aye, sir, that's the fellow. He, sir, he. That's the man that put me into this apparel.
There's no more cowardly rogue in all Bohemia. If you would just look big and spit at him, he would have been ran.
Well, sir, I must admit to you, I'm no fighter. I'm false of heart that way. That he knew, I'll warrant.
How art thou now?
Oh, much better, sir. I can stand and walk. I'll even take my leave of you and pace softly towards my kinsman.
Shall I bring the other way?
Oh, no, good face, sir. No, sweet sir.
Fare thee well, I must go buy spices for my sheep shearing.
Prosper your sweet sir. Your purse is not hot enough to purchase your spice. I'll be with him at his sheep shearing, too. If I make not this cheat, bring out another, and the sheepers prove sheep. Let me be unrolled, and my name put in the book of virtue.
These your unusual weeds, to each part of you does give a life. No shepherdess but Flora appearing in April's front. This your sheep shearing is a meeting of the petty gods, and you the queen aunt.
Sir, my gracious lord, to chide at your extremes it not becomes me. Oh, pardon that I name them. Your high self, the gracious mark of the land, you have obscured with the swain's wearing. And me, poor lowly maid, most goddess-like pranked up. But that our feasts in every mess have folly, and the feeders digest with a custom, I should blush to see you so attired. Sworn, I think, to show myself a glass.
I bless the time when my good falcon made her flight across thy father's ground.
Now Jove afford you, gods. To me the difference forges dread. Even now I tremble to think your father by some accident should pass his way as you did. What would he do to see his most noble work so wildly bound up? What would he say, or how should I, in these my borrowed wants, behold the sternness of his presence?
Apprehend nothing but jollity. The gods themselves, humbling their deities to love, have taken the shapes of beasts upon them. Jupiter became a bull and bellowed, the green Neptune a ram and bleated, and the fire-robed god, golden Apollo, a poor humble swain as I seem now. Their transformations were never for a piece of beauty rare, nor in a way so chaste, since my desires run not before mine honor, nor my lusts burn hotter than my faith.
Oh, but sir, your resolution cannot be upheld when supposed as it must be by the power of the king, which then shall speak that these two must be custody. And you must change this purpose, or I my life.
Thou dearest Perdita, with these poor thoughts I prithee not darken the mirth of the feast. Or I'll be thine, my fair, or not my father's, for I cannot be mine own nor anything to any if I not be thine. To this I am most constant, though destiny say no. Be merry, gentle, strangle such thoughts as these words that you behold the while. Your guests are coming, lift up your countenance, as it were the day of the celebration of the nuptial, which we too have sworn shall come.
Oh, Lady Fortune, stand your auspicious.
See your guests approach, address yourself and entertain them sprightly, and let's be read with mirth.
Fie, daughter, when my old wife